it's Faith Prince. Guess what? I'm doing Ursula in The Little Mermaid, and I'm here at Broadway.com to answer all your questions. Thank you so much for writing in. Darien, yes, iconic was the first thing. Oh my God, is what I have to say. Yes, it was daunting. Not only because it's a great villain and a classic villain, going behind Sherry Renee Scott was no easy feat, but honey, those tentacles are a force on their own. That's all I have to say. So yes, I was terrified, deliciously terrified. Hey, Angel. Well, let's see. What did I think? Mae West, Peggy Lee, mixed with a little Anna Nicole Smith before the diet. Fabulous. Are there any other villains on Broadway? I thought I was the only one, Kate. That story about Jerome Robbins. Well, sort of. We were in the midst of a rehearsal, and you know, there's something about rehearsing something for 6 months that just was a little in comedy. We need to get in front of an audience, you know. But Jerry Robbins was quite the perfectionist, and he was like snapping his fingers to pick up the pace, and it sort of took me out of the scene. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, could I have a pause there?" And he said, "It doesn't need a pause." And I said, "Well, it really does, but if we were in front of an audience, you'd see that. But since we've been rehearsing for 6 months, I wouldn't know that. And I'm a comedian and I need an audience." Anyways, to make a long story short, he was very cute about it afterwards. And he just said, "The next time, could we discuss it when we have a little tete-a-tete?" And I said, "Absolutely." So it wasn't a big deal, but not everybody talks to Jerome Robbins like that. Steve, thank you. That is so nice, and I really appreciate that you love my work. Judy Holliday. You know, there are a few people in your life that you always sort of model yourself after, and Angela Lansbury was one. Liza Minnelli was another. Remember Liza with a Z, not Lisa with an S, because Lisa with an S goes not Z. I loved her. And Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, and Judy Holliday. So I had an incredible affinity for her. Always felt like I could relate to her in the films and the musicals because she was a quirky leading lady. So when I got a chance to play Ella Peterson in Bells Are Ringing, it was a dream come true. Peter, I love it! It's fabulous. You know, I am a mother, so I do love kids, but I also like scaring them. It's a lot of fun. Delicious. Callie, you're from Lynchburg? Will you please tell all those folks at the Farm Basket I said hello? I love Lynchburg. My fond memories from Lynchburg, growing up there, probably would be E.C. Glass High School, where I started in musicals. And we did, I think, Oklahoma. And I was Laurie, if you can believe that, not Ado Annie. Who knew? And then I was Nellie Forbush in South Pacific. And those were great years, and great people, great teachers. And I go back every once in a while to like sing with the symphony or come do a concert for the Kiwanis Club. I love Lynchburg, and I'm so proud to be from there. Deer in Headlights, when I won the Tony. Very sort of brief in, out takes, pictures of that night. Most of it is gone, Brandy. I don't have any recollection. I remember Gregory Hines pulling me off stage, putting me in an elevator, and we went down to what's called the Bulls, what is that place called? The Bulls something, where they, bullpen, where they do all the media and stuff. And I remember very little about that night. It's an overwhelming feeling, because first of all, you're scared of winning, because if you win, you have to get up there and talk in front of like everybody you've ever known in your whole life. And everybody is watching, and of course you say things you don't remember, and you forget to honor the people that have meant most in your life. So it's just, you know, you're a wreck. What can I say? But I wouldn't have missed it. I'm going to say all of them. All of them. I've had some great leading men, and most of them were shorter than I am. Well, I would say of all the roles I've done, probably the most fun role I've done, Tyler, these are good questions, would have to be Adelaide in Guys and Dolls. That was absolutely the most fun. The most rewarding was probably Aggie in A Catered Affair. And the most challenging is the one I'm doing right now. Because I never had tentacles before, and a cape, and being so technical. So you see, you just never know what's around the corner. The most challenging could be next. Falsetto Land, Holding to the Ground, is probably one of my favorite recordings. But what's funny is the musicians of that piece were laid in later, after the recording, and some of it is sharp. Bill Finn's gonna kill me for this, but I don't care. Some of the music is laid in sharp, so I sound a little flatter than I wanted to hear from my ear. So it's funny how you can remember laying down something and you're so proud of it, and when you listen in the studio, and then when things come together, sometimes for your ear, things can be different. So it's just a little tidbit, you know, how something can still be your favorite thing and yet it not be perfect. Have I lost my Tony? I didn't know where it was, honestly, for about 15 years. And I mean that, I know most people go, I can't believe it. Honestly, because I look at it as, well, that was great, now what? But now I know where my Tony is. It's in my house, in actually a bay window, and it's sitting right in the sunlight, and I spin it every once in a while. I have to tell you, one time in Bells a Ring, Mark Kudish and I were on stage, and there was a set piece that I pulled around with a typewriter, and I was being really funny and just sort of flipping it around, and it slung halfway across the stage, and the typewriter fell off, broke in two, tape was everywhere. It was a nightmare, and I was supposed to get the next person off stage, the assistant, and I just turned to her and I said very calmly, as you can see, we have a lot of work to do. I think you need to leave now. And then I proceeded to walk over to the couch and just do a dive bomb straight into the couch, face down. I've never been so mortified. The audience went wild for about 5 minutes. Mark and I pulled it back together and ended the first act. Fun. Rebecca, do you eat sweets? I'm more of a salty girl, but I have to say, I love watermelon sorbet, chocolate mousse, and a good cobbler now and again, because I am a Southern girl. The cobbler. The cobbler. Oh, the worst job I had. Joe, you're cute. I had a lot of them. Actually, I worked as a waitress at McHale's, which was a little place on 46th and 8th. That was actually mostly a stagehand hangout. And I used to do the back room. Sometimes they'd make me work the back room myself. And I remember Peggy McHale sort of standing at the register and going, hey, Faith, and she had about this much ash hanging off her cigarette. And I come there and I go, Peggy, Peggy, and she goes, hey, Faith, you're gonna make it, kid. I go, you really think so, Peggy? She goes, yeah, because you're a lousy waitress. Steve, Falsetto Land. That was an amazing experience. First of all, I went in for the lesbians from next door. I was auditioning for that. I thought that's what I was going up for. I get a call from James Lapine. He says, Faith, I want you to play Trina. And I went, really? Me? Jewish housewife? I said, does Bill Finn know I'm like Southern Presbyterian? It was an incredible experience. And what was so incredible is Chip Zien, Stephen Bogardus, Michael Rupert had all done falsettos before. And I really, like a lot of things, like some television shows that you appear on, you have to take over the tone of the thing that's gone before you. And they were incredibly articulate about what that tone was. I learned so much, mostly how to back phrase from Michael Rupert. But he'll laugh at that. But it was an incredible experience and probably one of the most special evenings I can remember is the opening of that show. Serena, I loved Little Shop of Horrors. And it's so funny that I'm doing an Alan Menken, Howard Ashman show then and now. Audrey was a very special character. I actually got hired to play it before Ellen Green and couldn't because I was doing an industrial. I loved getting eaten. It was very seductive getting eaten by that plant every night because you had to, first of all, it was a very simple thing. The mouth would open and you would hook your feet up against the little bar inside the plant, and the rest of your body had to be completely limp, and you'd pull yourself in, leaving your upper body limp. It was magical, and it was the simplest thing. And to me, that's when theater is at its best. I don't think I slept the first night I was in the city. I was so incredibly just in awe. I'd never seen anything like it. And, you know, I hadn't seen a Broadway show till I was 22. Call me crazy. But I knew it was the place for me, and I've never regretted coming here. So if you're thinking about it, do. I love the fact that it's my responsibility in life to guide this soul through his adolescence into his adulthood. And I try to evoke all the important things in life, prepare him for life, and for him not to carry on the things that I do that aren't necessarily the best. But I love the challenge, and I love that I've been blessed with the opportunity to create a soul as special as my son. Because I have to say, and my husband is responsible for this too, but he is my favorite thing in the whole world, and I am most proud of him of anything I've ever done. So I want on my tombstone, not that she was a good actress, but that she was a good mom, a great wife, and a fantastic friend. Well, it's Faith Prince signing off. I just want to thank you all for writing such incredibly articulate, wonderful questions. And it's great to know you're out there, and it makes me feel good if I can give anything back, because we need you in the theater. So come see me. Let me know you're there. Put a note backstage, and I will find you, my darling.